What up, you two? Back with another video, quick one. Trying to help you guys out, per usual. Just kind of share my experiences with you guys. In this particular video, again, it's about being a Duramax owner and driving an older truck and what you can run into, expect. Um, those of you that follow my channel or have watched some of my videos, you know I got the LMM '09 Silverado. So those are of you that are new. It's an '09 one-ton dually Silverado. I got pushing close to 200,000 miles on her now. Um, like I said in the last video, I've been moving the family back and forth from Colorado to Oklahoma. Finally down to the last trip. I have one more trip, and I'll have everything I own, and I own a lot of shit. So collected a lot of things over the years, and I didn't want to leave anything behind. So I think I made 10 trips total with this Duramax, 600 miles one way, and always had a heavy load one of the ways. So ever since I got this truck, every once in a while I throw a P0087. Now the P0087 is low fuel rail pressure. Sometimes it's a dirty fuel filter. It could be a lot of things. All the way up to scariness, which is like the injector pump or bad injectors or whatever. But I noticed it was very rare that I did this. And the last couple trips, I've thrown a P0087, and the truck goes into limp mode. I got to reset the computer and get going again. And I was just getting real tired of it. I take good care of the truck. I spend a lot of money on upkeep, and I want to fix what's wrong. So I'm going to show you guys a couple things that I did in the past, and it seemed to have gone away, and then lately it's come back. I used to pull my heavy camper, and I'd throw a code, and be rare, just not sure when it would happen. It was always hot, and it was pulling. And there is on these fuel systems, there's a on the fuel rail on the passenger side or driver side fuel rail. There's a relief valve. If you want to look up to that, that could be a problem if you're throwing a 0037. Is that the relief valve? It's kind of like a pressure valve, like on a water heater, and if it gets too much pressure, it opens. Those can get weak and let fuel come out of the fuel rail and return. I replaced that with a race plug, a PP race plug. That basically it's a solid plug that you plug into you take that relief valve out of the back of the fuel rail and you put that in, and it can no longer has that issue. Thought it took care of the problem, and then every once in a while I throw a P0087. It's not enough to where the truck will go into limp mode, and then I will reset it through my CTS2 scanner. I just reset the code, and truck gets going again. And then if it's doing it, I kind of stay out of it. But anyway, I think I finally figured out what my problem is, and I want to show you guys. It happened again on my last trip. I'm here in Oklahoma now. Made the truck in, it's running good, and everything was fine, but it did it twice, and it's a pain in the ass pulling up a hill, trying to pass a semi, on the interstate, and then your shit dies down, and you look like an asshole because you just passed three cars, and now you're limping back. So it's annoying, and I know these Chevys are sensitive, and they can be little bitches sometimes. I mean, it just is what it is. The truck doesn't want to hurt itself. I understand, but it's a pain in the ass. So anyway, went down a rabbit hole. Think I figured out my problem. I will do an update, but so far, dude, this truck's been running really good again, and I haven't been able to make it flag anything. I'll know because basically I'll do an update. I'll comment in the comment section after this final load. So the final load I have is not going to be a joke. It'll be my 18-foot trailer that I think already weighs 2,700 pounds alone, and then it'll be a cat skidster with 3 or 4 attachments and a hot tub. That's my final load to get out of Colorado. So I'm going to have that trailer maxed out. It's a 14,000 pound trailer. I'll probably, with the trailer, be right around 14,000, and I'm going to be towing through 107 degree Kansas and Oklahoma heat. So I'll tell you if I fixed it, but I'm pretty damn sure I did. So I got it to the house yesterday afternoon. I know I'm rambling, but this information is important, so just listen up. I got to the house midday yesterday. It was one of the hottest days in Oklahoma. It was 111 degrees. I think a record for this. Go figure. I'm leaving Colorado and moving to 111 goddamn degrees. But this is much better than Colorado, if you know what I mean. So the people. So anyway, we I pulled up and popped the hood, and I noticed that the fuel line, the supply line on the driver's side, I'll show you where it is, was kinked and almost squished to nothing. And it was like you could squish it like a straw. You could just squish it closed. So what I discovered was my fuel line was collapsing, and especially when it gets really really hot, it was sucking down to basically nothing, and then the CP3 injector pump had nothing to pull. So, and then when you let off, it kind of expanded back up. So as long as you didn't get on it, it would stay open enough to supply fuel. So, basically, I'm going to show you the piece of hose that I took off. I'll show you where it is. I'll crawl into the truck and show you another one that I found. So digging and digging and digging, I found that GM has a technician bulletin out on this and how to fix the issue. It's an actual issue. They've been dealing with it for a long time, ever since the LLY. So all LLY 04.5 to LMM to 2010 all have the potential to have this issue. A little bit of research on it, but I mean, I've started reading dudes were changing the fuel pump, the injector pump, the injectors, and still having this issue and never chasing after these fuel lines. So I'm going to do you all a favor, show you what I did. It's a cheap, easy fix, and I'm pretty damn confident I just found the problem. So let's flip this camera around and show you the hose and show you how freaking ghetto it is. And then I'll kind of show you what I did. And then, like I said, I'll update you guys, but I'm pretty damn confident I fixed it. I don't think I'm going to have this problem anymore. So let's flip this around and show you guys what's up. All right, so this is the piece of hose that I took out. It already comes at an angle like that, and it usually has like a coating over it. I took all that off so I could look at it. This shit is paper thin. It's not even like rubber. Let's see, it's like a hard plastic, and it was already bending like that. I'm not even exaggerating it. And when I got into the truck under the hood yesterday when this was hot, it was like nothing. Just close it shut. So the suction, this system works on a suction where the pump pulls the fuel from the tank, and I think it's about 10 pounds of suction. It was enough to suck this shut like that. Every time it got really hot, then you let off and it comes back up. So start digging around. I was like, what the hell? So what I did was I cut that baby off. GM's fix for this is exactly what I did. I got some hose, and I'll show you guys the hose I got. You basically grind off this fitting, the factory fitting, and don't hurt the pipe. You be really easy and grind it, and then that hose pulls off, and then there's another piece of it further down, and it was a little bit of a pain in the ass because you gotta. So don't mind this hose clamp. I did this hose clamp right there to just keep this new hose from having a kink when it turns. My brain told me just put a little something to help it, because when you turn the new hose, it even kind of kinks up just a little. So I put that there to keep it round. Might be stupid, but it looked good to me. So down there, I got 2 more hose clamps on that fuel line. So if you're having this issue with this truck, this is your return. Now none of this is under high pressure. This is the low pressure side of the system. So this one is just a return. It's still hard. It doesn't have a kink, and it puts it back in the tank. This is your supply, the larger one. It's 1/2 inch, and it was kinked like you wouldn't believe right there. So you can see how I've retained the factory fitting there. When you cut this, you cut the little piece off, that hose comes right off. Be very careful. Take a grinder, like a Dremel or a small grinder, and just grind it off like I did here. And then it goes like that. And then like that. And then just take a screwdriver and pry it and pry it and pry it, and then it finally gets loose, and you just it slaps off, and then there's a barb there, and you can just go with the hose. So this fix is exactly what GM tells you to do. They also tell you underneath on the driver's side near the transmission. Yeah. I'll show you guys the other one. I didn't do it on mine because it really doesn't have any issues. But let's see. The one right here. So we're under the truck. This larger line, I'm kind of in front of next to the transmission on the driver's side. There's my front drive shaft for four-wheel drive. This hose right here is also one prone to kicking, but I'm underneath my truck and it's got this cover and it's pretty solid still, so I'm not going to screw with this. But it's the same type of fitting, so it was a little difficult to do from under the hood. But what you do is just grind this down, don't go deep until you have a slit, and then take a screwdriver and bend it until this whole thing just pops off. Once you do that, you'll see that this flare in here is ready to accept a 1/2-inch hose and then a couple clamps. So if I do continue to get the 003 or 0087, I will probably replace this hose as well, and then possibly the one that actually goes to the tank right there. But I don't think those are the issues. That the temperatures under that hood are so hot that makes that plastic just like nothing. So anyway, let me get out. So I think that about covers it. P0087, low fuel oil pressure, change fuel filter. I experienced this about like 1,000 miles ago. Put a brand new fuel filter on, and it's AC Delco. So let me tell you this, and I've had times where I put a Napa fuel filter on this truck one time, and I think it's made by Wix, and it did not like it. They gave me a P0037 change fuel filter, didn't like that filter. Changed it over to AC Delco, no issues. So they're also picky with fuel filters. But anyway, I put an AC Delco filter on, replaced the fuel filter on the last trip, 2 trips ago, and it told about 1,000. Well, I guess shit, it's been 2,400 miles, but as soon as I put the new fuel filter on, I get going up the load. I'm almost to Colorado, P0037. And I'm like, what the hell? It says change fuel filter. So I thought, well, okay, well, I just changed the fuel filter, AC Delco. Do I need to really just keep changing filters? And then on the way back this time, so I reset that, told it, no, I got a new fuel filter. And then on the way back this time, the damn thing does it again, and I'm about to ready to change the fuel filter again, and I'm telling myself, you know what, dude, it's got to be something different. So I firmly believe that hose is what the problem was. And I think if you reach underneath your hood, and again, to give you reference, front of your engine, hot side pipe, right there, that hose right there. If you've got a kink in that thing, just do what I did. Change it, cut it out. Some of you guys are running hot tunes. Your truck's probably starving for fuel anyway. And even if you can just give it a little bit more fuel, it's going to run better. So anyway, that's my story on that one. Hope this helps you guys out. Before you replace anything else, replace those fuel lines. Let me show you the hose I used. It calls for a specific Parker hose. If you look at GM, I went to O'Reilly. They only had Gates. So I went in the book with them, and we found this. Let me go back in the shop, get you guys a better look. This is a Gates hose. It's got to be rated for diesel or biodiesel so that it doesn't corrode. But this is, let's see if I can get this good. Gates. I just hope you guys see that. Fuel hose. It's not bad. All right. 4219BG barricade fuel hose, 1/2-inch ID, 35 psi. And when you look up in the book, it's rated for for fuel, not high pressure, but it's rated for any kind of diesel, biodiesel, ethanol. So I'm sure that hose is fine. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. I've been down the rabbit hole now. This truck is about to hit its 200,000 mile anniversary, and I thought it would be neat to sorry, it's hotter than hell. I thought it would be neat to give you guys a rundown on everything that's broken on this truck since it was new. Since it had a factory since it had a factory warranty when I bought it, and it also had a clean Carfax, it also had all the repairs. So I can tell you that, as far as I can tell from a normal shop, this thing never had anything other than service for the first 130,000 miles of its life. And when I bought it, it had some stuff broken. So anyway, I'm going to do a video on everything that I've had to fix on the 200,000 mile Duramax. That's not a lot, but just kind of to keep it a clean truck. So hold tight for that video. We're about 197,000 miles, so I'll wrap this truck up, get the 200 on it, and we'll do a video on it. But peace out. I really do hope that somebody that's tripping out on this P0037 finds my video, because there really isn't a lot on it. I mean, there's some things, but for GM to put out a tech bulletin on this specific problem and to give them a fix for the dealerships tells you that this shit happens more than you think. So hit me up on the comments if you have any questions. Talk to y'all later. Peace.